About the putting the link up. There we are.
I'm going to mute it as soon as it comes up. Let me see it. Let me see. Okay, so radio silence for 2 seconds. What's up, Dark Judges, desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio's weekly Dredd, the one and only podcast bringing Dredd to the Dreadless.
Broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
Hey, this is Heavy Metal Kid, and we're a few minutes late, but we made it. And we're live streaming now, so the chat is absolutely just filling to the brim with Cursed Earth Muties who can't wait to get their 2000 AD fix, framed through the lens of two idiots. That's us.
Well, we can't ever really be late because it's our podcast. Ain't nobody paying our bills, and we do it whenever we get around to it. So
that's true. Hey, what are we looking at this week?
Well, we got Prog 2269. We got another Dredd one shot and 5 in the cubes. We've got a Tharg Terror Tales in for closure. Always pay your eye bill. Sephir wraps up. Thank goodness. The Order is still there. And Proteus Vex gets lippy with the Giant Scorcher I've been waiting to see since sometime in November.
Hey, yeah, you've been waiting for this one. So, it's very exciting. It's the Prog we've all been waiting for, folks. So Johnny, what's going on this week with you? How's it going?
I don't know. I do work. I took my daughter to Girl Scouts last night, so I still got like a biker to ballet, and here I am.
Oh man, yeah. Dad stuff. That's. How do you remain punk rock and still do dad stuff? I guess dad stuff is just whatever you want it to be.
If you wear a leather jacket, a biker jacket, you're always punk rock.
Do they kind of like that? Is true. Do they eyeball you when you walk in? You're not a weird looking man. You're a normal looking guy for the most part. Even when you're in your punk rock gear, you look clean.
Well, I think it was about 2 years ago. My daughter was doing the Girl Scout cookie table up in front of the local Walmart, where they post up and sell the comers and goers the cookies because we all want the cookies. Sure. My wife was going to go with and help out, but she got sick that day. And I said, no worries. I got this. I got dressed as I do. I really wasn't thinking. I was just going to go help out my daughter. She got dressed. We roll up. And then I realize, because at the time I had a big bushy beard.
Yeah.
And I am in my stage jeans, which are skinny black jeans, black shoes, black jacket, black everything. And I'm not really thinking about what's going on. And then I start getting eyeballed and people start walking away from our side of the table to the more welcoming faces on the other end. And I was like, I'm just trying to be a dad and help, you bastards.
They clearly didn't know that you were the voice of the predominant North American Judge Dredd podcast.
Well, I think this was before I was the part of the voice of the predominant North American Judge Dredd podcast. So my fame hadn't got there yet.
Right. Oh, okay. I guess we'll cut him a break there. But man, if you're asking me, they really should. They should have recognized. Like they used to say back in old hip hop songs, like you better recognize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know what? I was there. I was doing the work. I was helping my daughter. Why are you judging me?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So here we are back with another one. What did you think of this week's cover? It's pretty nice.
I like it. It's a good Joe shot with nothing really to do with what happens in the Prog. I always like those when there's no real tether to what's going on.
Yeah, that's kind of what it normally is, right? It's always like, do we like look at the cover and base what we're our expectations on that, or how does it work?
I stopped doing that long ago when I got burned in the 90s buying a Bloodstrike comic book that had an awesome Jay Lee cover, only to have the most cookie cutter coloring book, boring interior art that I'd ever seen.
Yeah, oh, dude, it was all throughout the '90s. I think we even mentioned it. I have mentioned it on other episodes. Like, without a doubt, so many times would I buy, and it was usually fucking Image. No, and it was also Marvel, and that was my big mistake back in the day, is ordering Marvel comic books or buying Marvel comic books. But during the, like, Executioner song days, like, they would always put the thing that happens on the last page on the cover.
Yeah, but at least they put something that happened in the book on the cover. Like most of the time, it was just some drawing that was just on the cover. It had nothing to do with what was in the interior.
Yeah, I know. And it's super, super frustrating. But I guess it's different with Dredd. Now that I kind of understand how this works, maybe I didn't understand back in the day how it worked, but with Dredd, it's like they're not they're not coordinating a lot of times. They're just kind of like, hey, we got a Dredd story. It's a one shot. Do we really need to have, if you put something on the cover that's referential to what's inside, you've basically, you could very easily blow the fucking one shot story, right? So let's just put
Yeah,
Dredd holding a gun, being mean
it,
looking.
no one's ever going to complain about just random Dread cover.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with random Dredd cover. I will say though, last week's stellar Proteus Vex cover, which I believe was completely changed and enhanced by last week's co-host Chelsea saying that he would be very squeaky in his latex. That's my favorite cover of the year, and I don't know that you're ever going to knock that one. I don't know how you're ever going to knock that one down. I just don't think it's possible.
I would personally, I was more of a fan of your edit of said cover that
Yeah.
ended up on our Facebook page.
Somehow we got the most traction on our page from that ridiculous bullshit cover, that asylum video cover, than we do from anything like sensible or normal. Like that was the thing that people all connected to. So yeah.
That's always how it happens, man. I put like my art on my Instagram page and I put some other stuff on there. It gets like 30 likes here and there. I put a photo of an enamel pen my buddy got me on last week and it got like 200 hits. What? What the fuck?
Yeah, what a shame. I don't know how it works, man, but hey, as long as you're getting hits. Hey, we got some information here, some Judge Dredd news that was sent to us by our pal Mac. I wanted to throw this out here before we start getting into the prog this week. The galaxy's greatest 2000 AD at 45, a celebration of 45 years of 2000 AD. It's a completely online convention featuring panels, interviews, merch. It's the 26th and the 27th of March, all online, all for free. It's a con that we can attend for 2000 AD. It's not the con we want, but it's the one that we're going to get here in the irradiated COVID wasteland.
Con. Sorry. Somehow our VIP invites have not arrived yet. I'm sure that we're going to be part of this, right? That we have to be part of this.
I don't know. I'm looking at the names though. You got some John Wagner. I'm going to call out my faves here. You got some John Wagner, got some Rob Williams. You've got some John McCrae, and I don't see some of my favorites though. It says many more to be announced. So I'm talking about where is the love for the Proteus Vex team. That's right. If you're listening for the first time, that's our favorite thing. It should
Well, I
be
mean,
on this convention.
I'm pretty sure. Aren't you doing the Justice Department pubes panel?
It's a star-studded panel of different creators talking about the implications of Judge Dredd, Justice Department eagle-shaped pubes. Yeah, I'm still waiting to see who I've got, who's going to be on my panel. Nobody seems to want to volunteer, so I don't know what's going to happen there.
Because I'm doing the panel right after that with Rob Williams about the moon, where go, and why.
Oh God, is that an all-day event?
It's just me shouting and
Oh
Rob
my
Williams
God.
rolling his eyes.
And so, yeah, I guess this is really something that needs to be addressed because, so there's a new movie. Hold on, I'm trying to
Telling.
remember. It's coming out. It's a
Oh,
shitty Moonfall. There's a new movie.
oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that in front of Scream.
Were you slightly triggered by that? Because here's the thing, and we love 2080. We love Rob Williams. He's really been like at the helm of some of the great recent modern Dredd stories, but he didn't explain why the fuck everything stayed normal when the moon got knocked off its axis in Judge Dredd End of Days. Yet out here, Roland Emmerich, one of the worst fucking directors of all time, one of the dudes who directs the
He's
most schlocky
he's
bullshit ever.
he's no Yui Bowl.
He's not, but he made a movie where the moon goes off of its axis and fucks up all the tides and fucks up everything. He's at least addressing it. So,
I mean, Burrito and Horse Talk got an ending. If you knock the moon out of its orbit ever so slightly, things would go apeshit on our planet. Like the tides would be murdering people, werewolves would be legion.
yeah. Hey, I'm right here with you. So yeah, your panel, your panel is going to be more of the heavy sort of discussion. Mine's like just the light, just just a nice little mild discussion about Justice Department pubes. Hey, question from the chat. Not really a question, but someone put something in the chat, and I want to ask you. We maybe talked about this before, but what's your experience with the Judge Dredd and Strontium Dog audio dramas from Big Finish?
I don't think you've ever played me one of them.
So someone in the chat, Net7 in the chat, says that was their first experience with the character. They also talked about the audio dramas that were released by Penguin, which were America and The Pit. And I know for us, the way we discovered our voiceover, which unfortunately, because we're live now, we haven't gotten to use. And now I'm just thinking about that and it's bugging me. But we got Toby Longworth. God, I always say it wrong. To be our Dredd, and he's the voice of Dredd from the audio dramas. Specifically, I'm pretty sure the Judge Rico audio drama, where it was the one that always sticks out of like a really nice look into how fucking crazy Judge Rico really was. What's up, Douglas, in the chat? But yes, so I know I've listened to some. I don't know honestly if I have which side mine come from. I don't know if I have the Penguin ones. I don't know if I have the ones that came from Big Finish. I honestly don't know. But I've listened to a few, and I always appreciate and enjoy those. There's a point when you're a Dredd fan, you're just trying to get literally anything you can get. So
any crumb. That's why we sat through the Stallone Dredd over here, because we ain't got nothing.
No, but we do have a good prog this week, and I got a lot of thoughts. So let's get into it. Unless you got some other Judge Dredd news.
I got no Judge Dredd news. Although, if it's the 45th anniversary of Judge Dredd, he better get scheduled for his colonoscopy.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Although, there could be a really interesting story about that. I'm just saying. So
Judgment comes to Poo Poo City.
Judge Longfingers reporting. So this week, we have a nice little one-shot called 5 in the Cubes. And 2
in the sink.
I love a good one shot.
This one was good.
Yeah, we get introduced to yet another division of the Justice Department with a dorky uniform, which is the Cube Judge.
The mustache ain't helping him either.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, I guess I just assumed. Oh, hey, first time listener. Howard Fowler says wiener.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no! He's here.
Welcome aboard.
He's gonna be so confused.
He's not confused. He said wiener, man. He knows what's
Well,
up.
he got that from my daughter.
So this story takes place in one of those scared straight uh, programs where they've got five. I guess it's five. They've got three delinquent kids. They're bringing them into the cubes to see what it looks like, to see how it runs. They're going to scare them straight. And we were introduced to the dorky cube judge, who is, as Judge Dredd says at the end, basically a failed police officer who ends up being like a corrections officer here.
He's the security guard of the mall who always gripes that, I couldn't be on the force because they kicked me off because I wouldn't take any orders from my superior. He's that guy.
He is Paul Blart Mall Judge.
He's got a Punisher sticker on his Scooty Puff Jr. outside, and he's never read the comic book.
Hey, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I have a friend who's a police officer, actually, and one time I was talking about, I mentioned something about, it was one of the thousands of instances of police violence and that was happening in the news. And I said, some cop, blah, blah, blah. I was just kind of talking about it. And he said, that's not a cop. And I said, yeah. He said, that's just a guy with a badge. And I was like, I like it. That's kind of Dredd's stance on this one here too. So, um, yeah. So what'd you think of this one?
I liked it. You would think just existing in Mega City 1 and seeing what the Justice Department does would be enough to keep you on the straight and narrow. And it is a very, very narrow road in Mega City 1. But no, they still feel the need to traumatize the youth. And they're totally profiling. They're going to the highest crime rate areas, the lowest income areas, and going, yep, you're going to commit a crime at some point. Let's stick you in here. And maybe you won't. And they get to spend 5 whole hours in the cube, 5 straight hours, just being bored out of their minds.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we've had discussions on this podcast before about like, it doesn't seem like you can get a lot of like cube sort of issues. It's not like, I don't think we've ever really had too many, and someone's going to jump in and send us, probably our favorite man's going to send us all the different episodes where we've had it and missed it. But like,
where you know it's coming.
What cube life is like that's what I've always wanted. I want more info about what it's like to be in a cube. Do you literally just sit there all day and they bring you food and you just sit there and do nothing? Or is it like a prison sort of milieu, or how does it work? But we don't get much of that here, other than the fact of, like you said, this person is literally just sitting staring at the wall, this kid, for 5 hours. And I like the little internal dialogue where it's just like, they leave you in here just long enough to make you actually wonder, like, did they pull something over on me? Yeah. Are they going to let me out?
I will say, and I know my first knee-jerk reaction was, this is really nice for a cube. But then I immediately remembered, oh yeah, Joe said that this was burned out during Day of Chaos, and they just finished putting it back together. So it's the nicest ISO block in the city, and everything else, I'm sure, is just a shit show hell.
Yeah. And, it makes sense. I don't want to say it makes sense, but with the way that they manage criminals in Mega City, like, you kind of wonder like why these guys wouldn't be like in a normal prison milieu. But at this point, they're not interested in human rights. They're just interested in how can we minimize prison riots? How can we minimize having to deal with anything? So I get it. I could go, if you're saying that basically when someone's locked up, they just sit in a cube forever. It makes sense in the context of Mega City,
Yeah, that seems very Mega City 1 Justice Department.
Now,
don't I have any rights? Nope. You're just meat with eyes.
Now, what doesn't seem very Mega City 1 Justice Department, and I'm going to ask this, was it ever featured in any other episode of Judge Dredd? I don't know, but so the big twist here, spoiler alert if you haven't already read, the kid gets out and this asshole mall cop judge guy decides that this kid had just a little too much mouth on him. So he's going to go give this kid a completely different 5-year sentence, but in a really weird and backwards sci-fi kind of way.
It definitely does not seem out of place for this kind of thing to exist in Mega City 1. It seems like a very early Progs kind of thing. If it did exist at all, I would put my money on the first 5 years of the Prog, this thing existing.
Yeah. And
The
so
time
the
stretcher. We should probably tell them what we're talking about.
yeah. So the idea is like you put someone on this fucking stretcher here, and you can choose physical or subjective sentencing. And so if I want to sentence somebody to 5 years, I can set it to physical, and they're going to age 5 years physically. If I want to set someone to aging subjectively 5 years, that means for 5 years, they're laying on the stretcher, staring at the ceiling, feeling everything. Time is passing as normal. They can't move. It's Metallica 1, and they just got to sit there and wait for 5 years, which sounds like I would rather die than ever go through that.
And then this kid got stuck looking at Mustachio Dickbag here. That was like his last vision.
Oh my God, what a nightmare, dude. And I don't, is this like a machine? Like, so I'm guessing, yeah, you're probably right. The writer of this story, whose name I don't remember all of a sudden, who
Good hosting.
Arthur Wyatt.
Yes.
So Arthur Wyatt probably dragged something up from one of the first like early progs. This thing is probably in some back room of the Justice Department somewhere, and this guy's going into business for himself. He's sentencing these kids very much like a weak ass version of Judge Penn, but instead he's sentencing Jews like pre-sentencing them. Like, you're going to be an asshole one day. You need more than 5 hours. You need 5 years, and who knows how long he's been doing this to people.
This device just seems like the bastard child of tech and sci. Like, they got together and went, what's the most screwed up thing we can make to fuck with people in Mega City 1? Oh, I know.
I mean, it's certainly a deterrent, because if you told me that this is what would happen if I committed a crime, I can't think of a worse sentence. You know, you go to jail, you think, well, yeah, I'll be in jail, but maybe they'll have a good library, or maybe I'll meet some nice guys there, maybe some nice friends there. Famous last words.
Some fellowship.
Yes. But in this case, it's like I have to stare at this. Like, for an ADHD person, this is a fucking nightmare.
Yep. You are stuck forever. No release. And the last vision you got is Judge Mustache Bag of Dicks there.
Yeah. Oh, so our friend Douglas in the chat says he's speculating what the percentage of population of Mega City has had some sort of time in a cube. That's actually a great question. He's guessing 80%. And
I would say that was low. I'm guessing like 90.
Given what it takes to end up in the cube, like, honestly, in this story, I was surprised that this kid didn't get sent to the cube for like mouthing off Dredd, because he does.
But then Dredd kills him at the end. So,
well, Dredd accidentally kills him.
Joe, once again, has to be big dick lawman, kicks the door in. Instead of de-escalating, what does he do?
He punches the guy. The guy falls back into the machine and sentences the kid to 500 years.
And if you look at our judge, who's getting walloped into murdering this kid, it kind of looks like his chest has pube.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's a pube judge.
He could be. Maybe we can get him to join my panel. I don't know.
Looks like he's got that mustache. I can only guess where that came from.
God, you know what, man? You just kind of like, I knew that it happened.
What, pube judges?
No. Like, so you kind of just pointed it out. Like, I knew that, I knew from reading the story that Dredd hits the guy falls back into the machine and kills the kid, because it goes 500 years physical age. So the kid turns into a skeleton. What I guess I just didn't connect the fact that it's like, fuck, man, if Dredd would have just handled this a little bit differently, the kid would still be alive.
Yep, just a little de-escalation. Nope, Joe's got to go in there swinging dick, punches him in the face, and kills the kid. He could have done that a million different ways that didn't end with that kid dying.
Yeah.
He chose the tried and true. I'm going to go hit something.
Kick him in the nuts and nuke him.
I'm going to go hit something.
Oh, my God. Yo, our friend Paul in the chat says that he's not happy about the fact, number one, that Judge Penn disgraced the beloved SJS. And also, we got another speculation saying 85%, considering you can be cubed for littering, 85%. Would you make it, Johnny? Would you make it without? How
I'm
straight and
on this
narrow are you?
podcast. Both of us would have been in the cubes by now for this
Oh, that's true.
podcast. You know,
Yeah,
how
that's.
anti-justice department this podcast is.
Uh, I guess. I guess we're anti-justice department, but we're certainly like
We'd be
if
doing
nothing
20
else,
easy.
we're spreading the word not to fuck with Judge Dredd out here.
Yeah, but we're still being anti-justice department. That's 20 easy. And our
Oh,
use of
thank God we
profanity
live in the cursed
on
earth.
the air. Yeah, just come out here and get us. And grow some extra body parts while you're at it, you jerks. But yeah,
Speaking of
this is
extra body
awesome.
parts,
Oh no, what are
hey,
we doing?
oh no, we got Terror Tales, man.
I like this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I did like it. Just make sure you pay your medical bills, or else they will repo your eyes.
Man, I got hung up on this one. Okay, so I got hung up on this one for a stupid reason. I'm
It's
just gonna
not Judge
say
Hershey.
no.
I just want you to know that it's not Judge Hershey.
So I got hung up on this one, and I don't know if this is a criticism or if it's just me saying what I got hung up with. I thought this was a fine issue. I like the art a lot, but I got hung up because I have seen this story a lot before in sci-fi, specifically, very, very specifically in Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi tropish, very dystopian future sci-fi tropish. Nothing new here, but I still liked it.
Yeah.
They didn't reinvent the wheel, but this lady gets her eyes operated on. She gets some bionic implants and goes on a gallivant and comes back 3 months later, forgot to pay her, or the company that put her new eyes in got bought by another company, and she forgot to keep up with her bills. And wouldn't you know it, they're sticklers. They, much like Penn did to Dredd, they turn her eyes off remotely, and then they send a godless Cthulhu tentacle monster repo machine to unesthetically, I'm a guy saying, rip her eyes out and take them with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is very like beat for beat. This is Repo the Genetic Opera, Blind Meg. What I did like that they went into a little bit more with this one here was the fact that I just like she's not aware, and she's like, they're basically telling her, "Oh, we see that you've ripped up the letter," and she's like, "How do they know?" Not
she's
realizing.
Not together.
Yeah, they're constantly monitoring. They own your eyes. You don't own them. So I mean, it was a cool idea, but it's also an idea that like I feel like I've seen a lot. And even in Dredd, repossessing people's organs, and like this has been a thing. But as far as like, the art was cool. I didn't mind it in here. I just felt like I was like, man, I've definitely been here before, seen this before. I think maybe I wanted a little different, a little something extra, from this. But it's a terror tale. I'm notoriously not a fan of terror tales or Tharg's thrillers minus Red Road.
That will never, ever, ever, ever get.
We'll see.
That's why they need us at the convention, so we can chat about Red Road. You can do your panel on Justice Pubes, and I can berate Rob Williams for an hour about where the moon went.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like I'm curious to know if anybody else who read it this week, what you thought of the Terror Tales. Yeah, it just was like I was like, I know where this is going. I knew immediately where it was going. And with stuff like Terror Tales, I feel like that sort of morbid, ironic twist is kind of important, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they didn't reinvent the wheel. It was nothing shockingly new, but I just enjoyed it as a quick story. I really like the art. Art is some of the best I've seen in the Prog in a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there it is.
There it is. And now we move on to the fucking Saphir, dude.
Yep, it's over.
What the fuck happened here?
He got Jerry Springered or Maury. I don't know who this ethereal man was that flew out of the bald man. I think we're supposed to know. It looks like somebody's dad. and I'm supposed to be shocked, and I'm like, oh god, can it be over? Can we? Can
Dude,
we
I
please?
have no fucking clue. And I was on this. I was like, all right, you know what? Like, yeah, I think this dude's getting railroaded into being the dad for some floozy space bimbos, bastard son of 1,000 solar systems. But I was on board because I was like, it's weird. We got fucking Lex Luthor here and he's attacking. And then it was almost like as if kind of what you said, like at the end they went, no, but actually here's the big twist and all the people that you know and everything. And it's like, I don't know what any of this. I don't know who floating glasses dad is. I don't understand this nursemaid singing to Lex Luthor. I don't. It was like, I'm gonna say this for Saphir, right? And the ending, I don't know what the fuck's going on. She's painting.
Ghost Baby went to the beach, and Toulouse-Lautrec got his ham painted. So they're
and
good night.
she's like, you're his godfather now. No, bitch, you just told me that I was 1/1000th his father. So what? I'm the godfather now?
She
You
said,
know?
"Here, take this. I got to go get some smokes. I'll be right back."
After all that, I'm fighting for parental rights, you know? I
And he
want my
took him.
1% of the baby.
He took the baby to the beach because he's stuck with him now because he didn't want it, but it's mine. It's 1/1000th mine. I guess I'm the father.
Yeah, yeah. No. The Godfather. So he don't even get he's not even get he doesn't even get the title. He just
Can't even
got bamboozled
can't even
into
claim him on his taxes. Can't even claim him
yeah.
on his taxes.
Yeah, our man here who's been a dork from the beginning. He got railroaded here. I don't feel sorry for him. Number one. Number two, I don't understand what the fuck happened. I don't know who Ghost Dad was here. Uh, thank God it wasn't Bill Cosby.
Oh,
But
let me show you my pudding pop. That was a real bad Bill Cosby impression. I thought that was going to go better.
it
It did
was
not.
it was all right. Yeah, it was fine. Um, dude, this was like if there was ever a story where like somebody from the outside, and I'm not even saying this as a criticism, but if somebody like our friend Chelsea who just started reading the Prog and jumped into Saphir, without reading part one, which I completely don't even remember, so that's on me too. But and you read through this and you get to this ending after reading just the chunk we had, you're like, this makes no fucking sense. I don't know what this is. This was absolutely the worst slice of a story to try and read without having read the thing before it, because it is just a complete question mark for me, man. I am in the fucking dark on this one.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Ghost Dad shows up and it like okay, they're expecting me to know who this is. I got nothing. I instantly don't care. I care even less now about what happens after this.
I mean, I kind of felt like we got a pretty big buildup for Lex Luthor guy here and his minions coming in, and it was literally resolved in a single panel with some fucking yard work implements.
They universal monstered us. I wonder if they had this planned out for longer and they went the 2080 came in and said you got 6 more pages. But we got
It
like
just
20 pages of the story. You got 6. Okay. All right.
Yeah, something's wrong here, man, because it was like we're in the middle of the story and they're like, and we're fucking gone. There you go. He went to the beach. I don't fucking understand. Am I supposed to understand more? Am I an idiot? I feel like an idiot. And 2000 AD, like we're dumb Americans, right? We're dumb Americans. We'll admit it. But we're educated men over here, Johnny. And I feel just totally in the dark about this one. I don't like it. I don't like how I feel at the end because I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I was on board, and it's just I feel completely. I don't want more of this. I don't want any more. I'm done. You've got me. You've gotten me enough. I'm good.
The wrap up of this story is like how we end our podcast every week now, where it just goes off.
Yeah.
That's how it ended. Just nope, we're done.
and okay, so the baby solidified, right?
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
Alphonse
yeah.
Mucha. It irks me because he's named after one of my favorite artists of all time.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and
I don't know who that is. At least you know that. At least you know that.
Alphonse Mucha drags Blue Space Baby to the beach, and that's it. Like, okay, Toulouse-Lautrec gets his Lautrec painted.
Man,
Sure.
it's just yeah, I don't know, man. I got nothing else to say about it, but like I feel like it was a waste of time.
It
Um,
was done to you.
yeah, because I was in. I was like, all right, I'm kind of in. I'm kind of in. No, waste of time. Don't know what happened. Um, and
Speaking of things that you're into, you're
oh,
really
hey, that
into
was didn't expect that.
the order.
Yep.
It's certainly here, man. Look, I know last week I referred to the order being as bad as enjoyable as my last colonoscopy,
Yeah.
but I'm not, I said that because it was funny. I don't wish any ill on the creative team behind this. We love Keck W when Keck is writing Dead World.
Yeah.
It's just, man, this is a real hard sell for two Yankees who aren't good at history, and we got dropped in the middle of this mess.
Yeah. I mean, but we didn't get dropped in. I mean, we kind of did, but like, it's not. This isn't our first rodeo with the order. We went
No, the
through a
last
whole complete, story arc. Didn't get much from it. I probably would be honestly if I had started with this one versus starting with the previous one. I think maybe I'd be more interested in because we're getting more like horror, more tentacles, more skeletons. But at this point, man, I've been burned so many times. I've been burned so many times. This is my next door neighbor that comes over and asks to borrow $10, and you loan them $10, and then they never mention it again, but then they come back and ask again. And you think, well, maybe they'll pay me my 10 back after I give them this 10, and they just keep borrowing. I can't, I'm going 100% Flavor Flav. The next time the order comes knocking at my door, I can't do nothing for you, man. Sorry. I got nothing.
are we just going to skip it the next time?
Here's my proposal. I've been thinking about this all day. I've literally been thinking about this all day. How much more order we got?
I don't know because I don't know where this one is.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. We got Jake Lynch over there on Dredd magazine. I propose that we just we create our own prog. We're going to take out the order. It doesn't exist anymore. And in its place, every
Take
week,
out the order. We putting a hit on it?
yeah, we're taking it out every week instead of talking about the order. I'll purchase the issue of the magazine, and we will talk about the Dredd story, the Jake Lynch story in the magazine, because that's a creator we love, somebody I think we should support, and I'm interested to know what's going on over there because I see little teasers on his Patreon, on all of his social media. So that's my proposal because the fucking
Right.
Saphir burnt me this week, and the order fucking toasted me just for good measure.
Well, Saphir's over, and I can't tell if the order's getting close to being over or we still got a long way to go. I don't know because I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Nope, no clue. Uh, oh, that middle section, man. That middle
Yeah,
section was a hard one.
but we're closing with strong. We got Proteus Vex Part 8, and I have been waiting since somewhere in November to see this Scorcher, and I've seen it. That's a big ass Scorcher.
I've seen it.
I seen it.
Yeah, like it's interesting how different the Scorchers look now compared to the Henry Flint Scorchers.
Yeah,
It
they
was
were kind
almost
of
like
a living scribble almost.
it was like it's interesting too because I think what's kind of cool, and I don't think this was an intentional thing with the story, but it's one of those like kind of magical, cool coincidences with Proteus Vex. It's like when we were introduced to this world, everything was so much more unexplained, unknown, esoteric, and it's almost like as the art style changed, like it seemed to happen around the time that in terms of like what we understood about Vex. Um, it's almost like as we started to understand things more and got more clarity, art wise, things started actually taking shape. And so, like, in a weird way, in my head, this whole thing makes sense that, like, we're seeing a Scorcher that looks like this. And it's like, oh, yeah, we know these guys now. Like, I can't believe that I actually recognized the name of this fucking Scorcher when he says the name. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy.
What was his
And
name?
it's
What was his name?
it's Glass Dildo. Was that his name?
Exactly.
It's Glass Raven.
Yes.
Glass Raven. And I remember being like, oh man, we talked with him before. Yeah, I remember that dude. So it's a kind of cool coincidence as the styles change just because we switched artists. Um, it kind of feels like we're starting to like get to know these people. We're getting more detail because just because of the way it was drawn, the Henry Flint stuff was very like kind of minimalistic in some ways. And there's a lot going on, but you didn't get a lot of detail. Now we're here in the Jake Lynch Vexiverse, and everybody looks very, very kind of detailed and kind of like you can see what's going on here.
So we got that Glass Raven hanging out with. We meet Celeste, the oldest sentient thing in the known universe. And we find out what the thing was that Vex stole from what's his face from the last chapter, and it was a whole race from a race called the Helospawn, and we find out that they were eradicated because the Scorchers were jealous. For all
Dick
intents,
heads.
not so. The Scorchers, yeah, Vex drew them in with some chicanery into the Obdurate War, but without them, the Obdurate would have steamrolled the whole galaxy. So Vex, he's still working through that bullshit. But then we find out that the Scorchers may or may not have jumped into this of their own accord just to kill three birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Because they get to nuke the Helospawn, they get to nuke the Obdurate, and they get to shut down the Silent. They screwed over 3 separate species at once.
Yeah. And then they're over here trying to act like they just got drug into the middle of it. And very, very, in this case of meeting this giant super king Scorcher here, he's very high and mighty. And Vex is just calling him out. Vex doesn't care. They're even like mildly offended that Vex isn't terrified of them, but Vex has seen some shit. Vex isn't worried about even living at this point. He doesn't care. He's not out here worried about what he's going to do when he gets done with this stuff. He's got a mission to complete, and I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this thing it ends with Proteus Vex just flying the Farrago into something and blowing the whole thing up. He's on that kind of level right now. He's calling the Scorchers at the end of this pathetic cowards, and that's the kind of thing you do when you're not afraid to die.
Yeah, Vex has zeroed out all the fucks he has to give, and I completely agree with you. This story, that whenever it ends with Vex dying for the mission. I'd almost guarantee it.
That's I don't know, man. I don't want it, but maybe Vex's body dies. Maybe the flesh pilot survives. Who knows how it goes,
As long as Midnight survives.
Yeah, Midnight's got to survive, and I think Coandrum survives, so we can have the Midnight and Coandrum sort of like side quest. Yeah,
they band together as former friends of Vex, Coandrum. It'd be a 3-person team because it'd be Vex it'd be Midnight, Coandrum, and Coandrum's Badonkadonk.
they could have a team called Midnight Ass.
Oh my God, I can't wait to the next Vex team interview. We have so many things that we have taken completely the wrong way. That's the next thing. Jake, if you're listening, can we get Coandrum sketches with that ass?
I mean,
I'm putting it out there.
But not just of the ass.
No. Like Coandrum just looking back at it, being badass with that ass.
Coandrum and Midnight indicating shame fly around the galaxy in that ass. That is their chip.
Coandrum and Associates.
Oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, Vex is definitely this shit's getting heavy, and big things I feel like are on the horizon. Big, not the ass.
You keep saying, you said shit's getting heavy, and I was like, I'll let that one slide. Then you said big things are on the horizon, and I said, I don't know if I can let that one slide or not.
No, he's picking a fight. Like, he's not even picking a fight. He's not afraid to die. He's obviously not afraid of these giant scorchers. He gives zero fucks. He is going to expose this truth that everybody and their ugly reptilian mother is trying to keep quiet.
Yeah, man, I would be okay if I know we're joking about it, but if it ended up and Vex dies and then we continue, I mean, I know the series is called Proteus Vex, but we continue on with Midnight and even like, again, just maybe it's just the flesh pilot, maybe we continue on with that. Maybe we can continue on with some version of that. Like, I feel like as Proteus Vex is important to me, the character, but there's enough in this universe that I feel like we could kind of take a break from actually having Vex in Vex for a while and still be okay. And that's a good sign for me. That's a good thing.
The whole universe is populated with fleshed out characters. They're not just like one-dimensional set pieces. They're, Coandrum could take up the torch, once Vex, whatever is going to happen to Vex happens to Vex. Coandrum could take up the torch. And I mean, she the Day worked with a Ciceronian at one point from the beginning of this chapter, when she's talking to Midnight in the prison cell. Yeah, she tells Midnight that she had a Ciceronian partner at one point, and so who knows? Like, there's so many questions I want to ask Jake and Jim and Michael, but I know I can't, because that would be a breach of friendship. Come on, just tell me. It's just so you guys know, it's killing us. That we don't know what's going on with Midnight, and it's killing us.
Yeah, it was fun to speculate, and I've always enjoyed when a series takes a little weird turn, like not a weird turn, but just like the one I always use is like, I was like super happy back in the day during the Grant Morrison Batman run when it was like, yeah, Bruce Wayne's dead, and we got Damian and Dick. And they're just fucking trying to figure out what it's like. Dick is trying to figure out how to be like Batman when Batman is completely you can't be that. You can't be that level of intensity and crazy. But then over here, Damian is that level of intensity and crazy, but he's in the Robin spot. And it's just like, that was a cool dynamic shift. So I've always enjoyed when a series lets you take a little break from the main guys or switches it up, or, the Halloween 3 is our, I think, what we always go back to, something a little bit different. So
Friday the 13th, part 5.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that stuff. So
I know.
Wherever it goes, we're good. We're good.
So at least, we got 3 out of 5 this week, right? That's what we're going with.
That we didn't like?
That we liked.
Man, I'm going
on board with Terror Tales.
I'm going 2 out of 5 because I'll be honest with you. Terror Tales was fine art-wise, but man, I've seen it before, so it didn't do anything for me. I got no ill will towards it, but I was just, it wasn't for me this week.
So we got 2, 2, 1. We got 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the best time to be in the Prog, but a couple of the things are kind of carrying the Prog. So, I mean, do you measure it by, stuff that you like, or when you got a really good series going in the Prog? Because we're going to be sad when Vax ends. I'm really going to be sad when Vax ends. They better replace it with some fucking Dead World something, because it's going to be a hard one to replace.
Where's our recurring Dead World chapters? And I don't know if you read the Tharg note at the beginning. I'm going to bet money you didn't. Did not. Brink is coming back soon.
And that's fine. I would love to have a nice Brink in there.
We
If we're gonna take out Vex when Vex ends, let's get Brink in there. That Brink can fucking do it, man. Yeah.
we got Brink coming back, the Out coming back. We've got Feral and Foe 3 coming. All we need now is the Diabolics to return.
Yep.
And
We're the
we have,
only ones that are looking forward to that, I think.
apparently so. Well, you know what? Not everybody can have the great taste that we have.
That's true. That's true. And not everybody can have the greatest podcast in North America that is specifically centered around Judge Dredd. That's
A
really
winner
that's really
is us.
and yo, that's all I got, man. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, we got to go watch some AEW because, you know, I got to see if it's a work or a shoot.
Yeah, for sure. And let's end it by quoting Howard Fowler in the chat, who said, "Wiener." I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to end it. Once again,